All right, today we are taking a high-level look at the world of hospice and palliative care. We're going to explore all the key forces, everything from new government rules to the latest tech that are really changing the game for end-of-life care. Let's get right into it. So, what is actually happening in this incredibly important field of healthcare? The ground is really shifting under everyone's feet, the providers, the patients, and of course their families. It's so important to understand these changes, so let's break it all down. So here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with the regulatory challenges, then we'll jump into the business side of hospice. After that, we'll get to the heart of it, the human element. Then we'll take a peek at what's coming next and wrap it all up with the big takeaway. Ready? Let's do this. First up, let's talk about the regulatory maze. These are the rules and updates that are hitting providers every single day, and you absolutely have to be paying attention. And we're starting with something huge. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, CMS, has hit the pause button on certain payments. This is a really big deal because it directly messes with the cash flow for a ton of hospice providers, creating some serious financial pressure and a whole lot of uncertainty. So who's actually feeling this? Well, the hold is affecting Medicare physician fee schedule claims, ground ambulance transport, and all claims from federally qualified health centers. Now, you can still submit the claims, which is good, but the money just isn't flowing until that hold gets lifted. Okay, here's one of those seemingly small changes that actually has some pretty big ripple effects. CMS has updated the definition of a managing employee. Now it specifically includes hospice administrators and medical directors. So what does that mean? It means these roles now have to be reported on the CMS 855A Medicare enrollment application. It's another pretty significant layer of compliance that providers now have to deal with. Now, let's switch gears to cybersecurity, because this is critical. The Health and Human Services Commission, or HHSC, just put out an urgent alert about a new phishing scam. So you really need to be on the lookout for emails that look like they're coming from a coworker or even an official HHSC address. They could be totally malicious. And that brings us to the most important part. What do you do about it? If you or anyone on your team gets one of these suspicious emails, the instructions are super clear. Do not click any links, don't open any attachments, don't accept any invite, and whatever you do, do not forward the email. Honestly, these simple steps are your best defense against what could be a massive security breach. Okay, let's shift gears now and talk about the business of hospice. We're moving away from the external rules and looking more at the internal trends and the operational hurdles that providers are facing every single day. It's probably no surprise that technology is a huge part of this conversation. Hospices are pouring a lot of their investment dollars into AI and machine learning. And, this isn't just about chasing the next shiny object. It's a really strategic move to handle all that complex documentation and just be more efficient when demands keep growing. And speaking of complexity, providers are getting used to the new hospice outcomes and patient evaluation tool. It's called HOPE. And clinical leaders are all saying the same thing. You can't just react to this one. To really make HOPE work, you've got to be proactive, communicate really well, and use your technology to weave it right into your daily workflow. And these operational headaches aren't just for paid staff. Volunteers are, they are the absolute heart of hospice care, but keeping up with their compliance can be a real challenge. That's exactly why having rock-solid systems and proactive management is so critical. It's not just a nice thing to have, it's an absolute must for meeting those regulatory standards. At the end of the day, all these rules, all these business strategies, they all serve one purpose: caring for people. So let's turn to what is by far the most important part of this conversation, the human side of hospice care. So here's something that might surprise you. The stuff we watch, our favorite TV shows, for instance, can actually influence our end-of-life decisions. It's kind of wild, right? It's just a fascinating reminder of how much our culture shapes these deeply, deeply personal choices, sometimes in ways we don't even see happening. And it turns out that making those personal experiences count, well, it matters a whole lot. There's new research that shows fulfilling bucket list wishes, whether they're big or small, has a real measurable impact. We're not just talking about a quick moment of happiness. It actually improves well-being, makes family bonds stronger, and brings a real sense of peace. The human side of care isn't just about the end of life either. It can also be about the very beginning. Right now, the Texas HHSC is actively looking for perinatal supportive palliative care providers. They're asking for information, for resources, anything to better support families who are facing these just unbelievably difficult situations. So when you put all of this together, the challenges, the human factors,
Where is the industry actually going? Let's take a quick look at what's on the horizon for everyone in hospice care. For anyone looking to connect and really dig into these issues, there are some great opportunities coming up. You might want to mark your calendars. On December 4th, 2025, there's a one-day intensive in Santa Fe, New Mexico, which is all about practical, hands-on learning. And then looking a bit further out, the 44th annual Texas/New Mexico conference is happening in Round Rock, Texas from March 4th to the 6th, 2026. Wow, we've covered a ton of ground, haven't we? From payment holds to pop culture. So, after looking at all these different moving parts, what's the big takeaway here? What does it all mean?
Well, it seems like the hospice world is really caught in this powerful push and pull. On one side, you've got this growing mountain of regulations, financial pressures, and just endless compliance tasks. But on the other side, there's this incredible and I think necessary push towards innovation, new technology, and a laser focus on creating a truly meaningful experience at the end of life. And really, that leaves us with the vital, most important question. As the business of hospice care and all the bureaucracy around it just get more and more complex, how do we, as providers, as a society, make absolutely sure that our focus always comes back to humanity? That's the real challenge, and it's the most important work we have ahead of us.